Hello, I'm going to show you how to take a Platinum Preppy or a Platinum Plaisir and turn it into a stub. It's more of an italic nib, and the short of it is you take the nib, you use these wire cutters, you snip the end of the nib until it's flat, file it down with different sandpapers until you have a nice smooth nib, and that's the short of it. But if you want to stick around, I'll show you how it's done, and I'll do it actually right here for you. First, this is for the Platinum Preppy or Platinum Plaisir. They're the same pen, except this is metal and this is just cheap plastic. And really, this is exactly the same here. It's the section, the nib, it's all the same. You can even swap it out here. It doesn't matter. It all fits. It's all going to work. So the reason I don't like these Preppies, as you can see here by this tape, is that they crack easily. The plastic is just garbage in my opinion. So I get these Plaisirs. I've got a couple of them. They have a lot more durability and you can use them without worry. So let me show you. First, this is a standard. They have different sizes of the nibs. Here is a medium nib, which is labeled 0.5. I don't know if that's 0.5 millimeter or what, but yeah, you can see no line variation. Maybe you can squeeze out a little bit. It's nice and running dry on me. But anyway, just basic fountain pen there. Here's the 0.3, the number 3, which is their fine. They also make an extra fine, an 0.2, which I heard is actually surprisingly smooth, but I've never tried it. But anyway, those are the standard nibs. And I'll show you this, which I've already done. I will actually snip the nib off this one in a moment, but I'll show you first what I've already done. This is a, there you go, if we can get it to focus, or we can't. Come on, buddy. Anyway, this is a number 3. This is the fine nib, but I snipped it and the point is flat, if you can see that. But I'll show you how this writes. Downstroke, cross stroke. You can see it writes just like an italic. You can, do the fancy calligraphy. Wonderful. Something like that. But I'm going to try using the more broad nib. I bought this today, this Plaisir, and with the, this is the 3 because I just switched them. Let me go back to that number 5. There, this is the one I bought today, right here. Yes, the number 5, the medium nib here. Cap that so it doesn't dry out. Wrong cap. There we go. Now it's all in order. So here's that nib, the number 5. Pull that nib off. There you go. Looks like I took the feed with it. Your fingers will be going to get all inked up here in a bit. There we go. Got the nib off. Right. Wipe the ink off. So, here are wire cutters. Take these wire cutters and snip off the end of that nib. And of course, you don't want to do it too much, otherwise you'll have no nib left. You don't want to do it too little, otherwise you won't have much of an italic. So use your best judgment. I want it a little bit wider, a little more broad than the one I previously used. So I'm going to snip it and just eyeball it. But the thing is, don't tilt it this way, don't tilt it that way. A nice square 90-degree angle, otherwise you're going to have problems, or you'll end up with some of those strange italics. I don't know, I forget the name for them, but where they are purposely curved. You can do that if you wish, but let me show you this. Alright, I need to be careful, make sure this is perfectly aligned. Alright, give me about right there. Alright, that should give a nice broad line right there. Okay, putting it there, and there you go. It doesn't snap off, like nice and clean, because this is really hard metal. But if you'll see, I did kind of crimp it and bend it all the heck. Alright, so you can kind of just rock that back and forth. There, it popped off. You can see that little piece there. That's the end of the nib. There it previously was. And here we are left with this. I got it pretty broad, maybe more than I wanted, but let's test it out, see how it works. So, what you can do, put it back on the nib, or sorry, put it back on the feed. Put the nib back on. You can't put it on all the way, otherwise it reaches the end of it and it won't go. So I'm getting it partially on there, starting with this 150 grit, this really rough stuff. Beautiful sound. So there, now I'll move to the 600 paper. You don't have to follow these guidelines exactly with the 150 to 600, just get some rough sandpaper and step it down. Good enough. Move to the 1200, just 1200 grit sandpaper. Kind of get those corners a little bit within a italic compared to a stub. A stub would have the rounded off corners so that it's not so sharp, but the italic with the non-rounded corners just makes a nice, better crisp line. And let's move on to this 1200, or sorry, this is 2000 grit. Okay, so here that is. It's actually a lot more than the previous one. And I can't get the nib all the way onto the feed, otherwise the feed actually pokes through. So with my last one I didn't have the problem because I didn't snip it as much, but with this one I'm actually going to file down this feed. Looks like the feed's going to be too thick, so I'm going to just file it down a little more. There, that has a nice, there you go, a better angle to it, so I'm not going to catch the feed onto the paper. Alright, let's see if I can get this thing to right. Again, if it's right now it's too close to the feed, so as I did before when I got this one right, the nib is not pushed all the way on the feed. It's not all the way on there because I snipped the end, making the nib shorter, yet it still is able to write and keep up, no problem. I can keep doing this and it will not have a problem. Of course, these are really sharp. If you keep it at an angle and you push with it, as being left-handed, I have to watch, it's going to catch. So you have to do a lot of pull strokes and learn to hold it with a light touch so that you can go forward and it will not snag. Because, like I said, it's really a sharp modification there. So let me pull this. There we go. Got this nib pulled off of there, that feed a little bit. And let's see if we can prime this thing up. Oh, there it's starting to go. Look at that. Come on, buddy. Wow, this is really extreme. So, H-E-L-L-E-L. There we go. The more I write with it, the better it gets. Because it's just getting all that tiny bits of grit out of there, tiny, flaws. There. Now it's good. Now it's getting even better. There we go. So, thank you. Thank you. And good luck. I don't recommend snipping it this much. You can see how extreme that is. I recommend something more like this. You can compare the two. You can totally see. Let me put that against this black. There, you can see the difference there. Yeah, definitely a big difference. But, experiment. They're cheap pens, so you don't have to worry much. See, it's even writing more consistently, even better now. Just had to kind of work out the kinks in there. Thank you.